Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Thandie, and I host over here at the studio where we have chats on personal development, expansion, growth, and just in general. We are fresh babes over here. So if you like the sound of that, I think my professional opinion that you should subscribe to my channel. I think in the professional opinion of being a fresh babe, I think it is best that we all form a community where we're all fresh babes, and so I need you to subscribe so we can do that and be a community of fresh babes as a professional fresh babe myself. So today I'm going to be chatting about my journey, my insights, the things that I have. Not me being so thirsty. So yeah, I think I'm gonna tell this like a story, and I'm gonna highlight all of the points in my story because I've written like 5 points, but I can like illustrate it for you in the way that I went through it, so it kind of makes sense but isn't too boring. So I think the context for this video is that I really wanted to manifest certain things into my life. Like I wanted to manifest tangible and intangible things, so qualities about myself, perceptions about myself, the way I perceived myself. A lot of things was going on, and I wanted to really figure out, okay, is manifesting this similar to that? Like, how do I go about it? What's the quickest way? What's the most efficient way? Like, I was really trying to just try things out and really be on my bullshit, to be quite honest with you. So what did I do? I had set this intention to manifest this intangible quality, and I remember I was so emotionally frustrated. I was like, I am so disaligned from this thing that I want. I'm so disaligned from my intention. I am not on the right track. I am upset. I am on the yellow line on the highway. Why am I there? I should be in the fast lane, but I'm on the yellow line on the highway for no good reason, driving at 2 miles an hour. And I was like, why is this? Why are we here? How did we get here? What is the problem? Which brought me to my first point. I knew what the problem was. The problem was I wasn't centered. I knew I needed to improve my self-concept about myself and put myself on the pedestal. But my intention was to see myself as important too, right? So in investigating that, asking myself, like, Thandie, how did you get to this point? Like, what went wrong, my dear? Like, what went wrong? Because it's not given what it's supposed to have gave. And I examined that, and I came up with the intention, setting the intention, finding a why. I need to see myself as important so I can manifest this quality, or I can refine this quality about myself, or I can experience this feeling. I need to do that to get to this point. So my intention for this whole project was I'm fighting with English today, clearly. But my whole intention with this thing was for it to become a bridge for me to get from one place to the next. So obviously I had to start building the bridge. So I'd already figured out what the problem was, but not at its core yet. We're gonna get to that. But I was like, okay, I already know that I have touch points where I can see like how I got here. I indicated there because of this feeling. I went wayward because of my feelings. Now, as a person, I am a very emotional person. I am driven by how I feel. And that is something that is so beneficial to me spiritually. But shit, it's maniacs in logical reasoning. And in this case, it was terrible because people pleasing is what got me to this point. I was running from anxiety of upsetting people around me by not giving them what they wanted, right? So I realized I need to actually like get my act together and like stop this thing and create rules and boundaries for myself first, to just see where I am hemorrhaging my energy, because that was one of the first indicators that like I'm doing something terribly wrong, because I feel so burnt out, like all my energy is gone. I'm looking for my energy, I can't see her nowhere to be found. Like it was really not giving what it was supposed to give, and it was not giving fresh babe at all. But I was like, okay, I need to set boundaries for myself so I can stop hemorrhaging my energy and I can try to tackle this people pleasing thing. So I really identified things personally within myself first, because I was like, Thandie, you know you're wrong for being you know you're wrong for being on the yellow line on the highway. Why are you here? Why are you here? You know? So I really addressed things and took accountability with myself first, because like, girl, get it together, get your act together, okay? So yeah, in setting boundaries, that's why I kind of realized, okay, my self-concept is shaky, because when I got to this point of hemorrhaging my energy, I'm feeling bad for not giving it away. That was a huge indicator that led me to my third part. Oh, and before I get to my third part, I do want to say that I set boundaries myself, tested that for a couple of days, and then realized, okay, this is where the pressure externally is coming from, and I dealt with that accordingly. I was like, no, baby, we is not about to do these things. We is not about to conform to things that we don't subscribe to, because we don't want to upset other people. Like, I know people pleasing comes from my childhood, very, very, very much so. I know that it does, and I know that there has been a lot of pressure on me to people please, otherwise consequences. And it's like, if I want to live the life I want to live, no matter how big the consequences might feel, even though there are none anymore, I can't let that thing control my life. So setting boundaries in that regard really was something so instrumental to this shift, you know what I mean? So the third thing that I did was I journaled. And I was really trying to be self-aware about the situation and like why I was people pleasing. Where did that come from? What was the root? Obviously I know it is my childhood. But aside from that, where did these pressure points come from? Why do I feel like I have to oblige to these pressure points when I'm literally a grown ass adult? I don't have to do things that I don't want to do. Why do I feel guilty for these things? Like really thoroughly exploring all of the roots to my people pleasing thing, and seeing where the roots led to the whole thing, led to the expression of it in me, you know, not disrespecting those boundaries that I should have had before, me not having those boundaries, leaving that weak, me having weak boundaries, me doing things that told myself subconsciously that I was unimportant, and doing things that actually were against my self-concept or against the self-concept I wanted to have. So journaling was really the mind map to really understand how is this connecting to everything, and where are the wounds, where are the sore parts, where are the sensitive parts, and how am I going to go forward and remedy them? Where am I going to have my strongest boundaries? where am I going to have boundaries with myself, where am I going to have boundaries with others. And obviously I've spoken about them in this video quite a bit, but energy was a huge one. Other people's projections was also a big one. Like sometimes people will say like things that aren't possible for you, or that happened a lot actually growing up, and I think that's part of why I reverted. I went to the shadow self. But like people will say things and you have to decide, does this thing apply to me or does it not? Because you can't keep internalizing everything, and that's something that I got to myself via journaling, realizing that I be internalizing a lot of things that are not mine. And this goes back to the boundaries part. I need to have stronger boundaries around what I let into my inner world. That also speaks to myself and tells me that I'm important because I have a filter. I'm not going to let certain words come in and affect me because they is irrelevant. They do not apply to me, you know? So that's the role that journaling played in my journey to reaffirming my importance to myself. The next thing I did was I became selfish. And I must say, life's been great, life's been amazing. Ever since I became selfish, it really was the shifting point from me feeling burnt out and frustrated and irritable and dreadful about my days to shifting into a space where I'm like, oh, I'm excited about this, I'm excited about that. Like I got my nails did like this and I was so excited to get like rubber base and like just getting excited about smaller things in my life instead of feeling overcast because I have really bad boundaries. Being selfish. Let's chat about it. So, Leor Alexander made a video a couple of years ago about the way in which we can become magnetic, and I actually watched it a couple of days ago, and in this video I am going to be referencing the people that taught me things that made pennies drop in my mind, because I think their videos are important as well, because without them I might have not come to the conclusion I'm going to come to today. These are my sources, if you will, you know. Leor Alexander made a beautiful analogy the other day about the way in which we become magnetic and attract things to orbit around us, right? She spoke about planets having a greater gravitational mass and how things orbit around them. And gravitational mass in a sense is self-love, self-importance, self-value, your expression of those things. When we pour into ourselves, when we pour self-love into ourselves, we are increasing the gravitational mass of our self-love, which attracts other things that we desire to us. And I think that that's such an important analogy, because if you think about it, Earth has gravitational mass. We have a moon. Jupiter has a higher gravitational mass than Earth, and it has like a lot of moons. I don't know how many moons Jupiter has, but I should. Saturn as well. Like these bigger planets with a bigger gravitational mass attract more things into orbit. And in making myself important to myself, I had to increase my gravitational mass. And how did I do this? I was selfish. I did things that reaffirmed to me that, Thandie, you are important. You are your priority for this time to this time. In the morning, I wake up, I don't open my phone. No social media. The only reason I will open my phone in the morning is to watch my manifestation movie, and then I'm up. I'm doing whatever I need to do, because my morning routine is structured around taking care of myself. So I put that first. I need to be taken care of. I will see DMs and Instagrams in the office, to be quite honest. Like, I have created systems around reaffirming my importance to myself, and I have to prioritize my energy to pour into the things that are going to pour that into myself before I can pour my energy outwardly and engage in like mass energy exchanges, right? That's the first thing. I think in rethinking this, in the analogy of the planet, it made me realize how the way I was using my energy was quite unsustainable. And I don't know if I've said it in this video before because I don't have a memory, but like I was hemorrhaging. I was hemorrhaging my energy. I really was losing so much energy to things that did not pour back into me. And that is the worst feeling. Like, it's so bad because you don't even know how to get it back. Do you even have energy to try? Like, it's almost depressive, you know? So I think that being selfish has to be one of the most important things. And if you struggle with guilt around it, you just have to be like, I'm taking care of me so that I can pour into other people. This doesn't mean like don't help the people that you love, or don't, you know, share your love or do anything. It just means you need to take time. You need to snatch time from the day and do things for yourself. Like, you honestly have to do it. And do things that reaffirm to yourself that Thandie, you're important, or whoever you are, you're important. Because like, this is the biggest thing that is really gonna solidify your self-concept, because it really did that to me. Like, yesterday, what did I do? Yesterday I had such a good day because I really prioritized that I'm gonna be in the house, I'm gonna clean my house, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and nobody's gonna inconvenience me. I'm not going out, I'm not going to any party, I'm not going to do anything. I have my treat, which was this morning. But like, yesterday I made it a thing of like, I'm going to take care of myself, and I'm going to take care of the place I live, and anything other than that I'm not doing. And I had such a good time cooking such good healthy food for myself, and learning new things, and just spending time in my own energy, and really having that day to myself without being online or expending my energy. Because I was like, that day, it's for the girly. It's for the resident girly, okay? Like, it is not for bleeding my energy out for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And I think part of that, I just want to add like a segment. If you're like a sensitive person, or in general, I think that social media is such a big energy exchange. I feel like you should really like be more purposeful about how you use social medias, especially like Instagram. Instagram is the most draining app for me ever. Like, YouTube isn't really that draining because of how I use it, and TikTok is just, it's not draining for me, but I will waste time on it. But you have to use these apps with purpose. I use them, especially TikTok. Shameless promo. If you don't follow my TikTok, get with it, girl. I will put a link in the description below, or you can just follow me at the Resident Girly. Like, I be making cute little reels of my day to day, but I actually use that as like a creative outlet, because I really enjoy like the sounds that come out of TikTok, and putting together little like documents of my days, and just I use it as a creative outlet. And honestly, my For You page is hilarious, so I go there for a laugh. But I'm very controlled with how I use my energy online. Like, I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to waste my energy if it's not important. So I think that that's also a really big thing in being selfish. Is your energy worth this exchange? Think about it, babe. Think about it. Is it worth this exchange? Or could you be doing something that reaffirms your self-concept to yourself? That's enjoyable. Could you be taking more care of yourself, you know? And then the last thing that I realized, and this is really like learning authenticity in expression of my self-love, because of, okay, if we go back to that idea of me people pleasing, I am essentially doing things and putting other people's emotions ahead of my comfort. And in the expression of my self-love, you want to be authentic, and you want to be rooted and grounded in yourself, right? So I realized that you have to really know who you are, what you want to be, what you don't want to be, where you don't want to be, where you want to be. You have to know yourself really well. You have to know what you want for yourself really well in order to love yourself in a way that is meaningful. And I think this is parallel to brand management, and I'm only bringing this parallel in because it kind of made the penny drop, and also things that Lucy Benson and the Wizard Liz said did make the penny drop as well. But the parallel I'm drawing here is, if you want to create a good solid brand, you have to know it inside and out. You have to know what it is that you want to communicate. You have to know all the things. You have to know what it's going to look like. You have to just know it, right? Say you want to become an influencer or whatever. I'm not saying that you have to know everything about it, but you have to have a very vivid idea of what it is that you want to present to the world, right? That's what I'm saying. And your self-concept in my head is similar to that. You have to know what you want, know what you don't want. What are we throwing in the bin? What are we keeping? What are we refreshing? What are we amplifying? Which parts are going to be more prominent? How are we going to communicate and to show up in a way that is so undeniably authentic to who we are and reaffirms importance of who we are to ourselves? Our voices are important. When we say no, it's important. When we say yes, it's important. The opinions that we have. Lucy Benson said in one of her videos, I can't remember which one it was, but she said to respect your own opinion as you would others. That blew my mind, because who says that? She ate that shit up. Like, respect your own opinion as you would other people's opinion adds value to your voice and to your decisions and to what you are doing for yourself. And I think that that will solidify the way that you see yourself in context to the world, and will put you on a pedestal, no questions asked. Your voice is important, and where and when you choose to speak is also important. So yeah, I think self-care, a lot of the things that I learned, especially from the Wizard Liz, I think overall she did inspire me to make this video, because a lot of different things that she was saying I resonated with, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have some things to say about this. And I think that she is a great YouTuber for really reinventing yourself. Like, she will tell you the tea as it is, and I love that. But yeah, I will link all of the YouTubers that influenced my little journey into putting myself on the pedestal in the description bar down below, because there are some wonderful creators. And I will also link, is there a video? No, that was the other video. I will also just link my other videos, because you know, there's a lot of context that goes around, like mindset shifts and manifestation, how I believe in it. Those will also be in the description bar, so you can understand like how I view those things to how I got here. If you have not done that yet, oh, also my TikTok will be in the description bar down below. But if you have not subscribed yet and become a fresh babe, like I don't know, I just feel like you should subscribe. I feel like you need to do yourself a validating favor and just allow yourself to be a fresh babe like the rest of us. Subscribe to the channel, become a fresh babe. And thank you so much for visiting the studio. Really appreciate it. My name is Thandie. This obviously is the studio, and I will see you on the flip side. Bye.